Hey guys, welcome back. This is Born Fashion here, aka Selfie Carrots on Twitter, and me called Crayton on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to be doing a tarot healing conversational. Okay, so this is as long as it's gonna be. This is about my life, but this is gonna be using cards to describe, something I went through that was personal that I'm still kind of healing through. This is basically what my channel is about anyway, so I can't avoid it. God's been kind of pressing me, or my angels or ancestors, they've been kind of pressing me to just go ahead and have the conversation before anyway, they've been pressing. That's so rude. I don't have a prop, don't worry. Yeah, I don't have a prop. Okay, we can do that. Anyway, yeah, they've been kind of pressing me to have this conversation, mostly check that shit. Mostly because it's better to do something now before it escalates. I don't want to have feelings or suppressed feelings going into a new part of my journey, and I can't have a new part of my journey if I don't discuss what I went through in that part of the journey. So basically it's time for a new milestone, and I don't want to bring that that energy or that harboring that harborness. Like, I don't want to harbor anything in my new opportunities. Okay, and I really strongly advise that for everybody. So we're gonna pull a card to first start off the conversation. I don't even know how to start the conversation. I didn't really plan this like the entirety, but okay. So it's a 6-part healing, okay? It's basically kind of like discussing, we're going to talk about each day I went to jail. And I know it's like, oh my gosh, are you like trying to get clout from jail? No, I'm not. But I learned a big part of my purpose while there, And I knew I was, I really listen to God, and people don't like the fact that I listen to God because, I ain't gonna say people, but people don't like the fact that God gives me different instructions, okay? So here it is. We have temperance. So this is patience. And then what we have underneath is of course I flipped it, but this is the 10 of Pentacles, okay? So again, new opportunities, like I just said, that is what's leading me. That's what's making this entire thing divine for me. Okay, so day 1. I went in May 16th, okay? May 16th, 2018. A lot had happened that day. Like, I remember planning my whole day. Like, I had got up really early. During that time last summer, I was really like focused on just beginning tarot. So I like this. I really do. I have filmed like 4 or 6. I'll leave the videos below as well that I made during that time, so you guys can kind of see where I looked like before. But yeah. So I got my whole entire day started. I had got everything done. I was working on projects. I was doing a modeling, workshop. So I was getting all those things and details lined up. So I did that. And then I was like, okay, I'm about to go stalk my man. Like, and it wasn't like, I'm not gonna stalk my man, but I really was like, I was like, okay, let's go, let's play, And I had that attitude about it, because I was like, okay, there's something that needs to go. Like, there's something about myself that I need to see through this relationship, And a lot of times women, we go through the relationship because we know subconsciously there's things that we need to learn to build our character, to build our strength, to build our, I don't want to say the word mobility for the next relationship, but our flexibility for the next relationship, okay? So that was something I did. Like, I was like, okay, bet, I don't really want to make this about him because it's not, but, it definitely includes, a big part of him. He was definitely a great karmic teacher. He was definitely a great karmic teacher. I would have liked to have experienced this karma. Like, I don't think anybody could experience what I experienced, but I'm grateful that I experienced it the way I did, and it does not excuse at all. Like, you might see me in the next video snapping. This does not exclude or excuse the behavior, the lies, the deceit, the abuse, the emotional abuse that this person brought upon me. But it is what it is. It's a karmic relationship, so a karmic relationship has, the tables will turn, and I will be able to watch that because God loves me enough to let me watch it. Like, it's like a live movie, everything is like a live movie. So anyhow, so that's the start. So we're gonna talk about day 1, but we're not gonna talk about the experience just quite yet. Okay, so that's that, the temperance, the patience. But that day, like, you guys understand, like, I was receiving a lot of like downloads that were, I would say overwhelming for me to it was really overwhelming. It was really overwhelming because I didn't understand that I could hear someone so telepathically clear. And I was in a space that I was in. I didn't know if I was hearing him from a soul. Like, okay, so there's telepathy from soul, spirit, and mentally, okay? And because, okay, let's just start. Let's just start. Where do we want to start? Where do we want to start? Where do we start? We're gonna let the cards do this. Where are we gonna start? Oh, getting to know each other. Okay, start from the beginning very soon. And let your friends help you. You guys want to start from the beginning? I mean, it would make sense. It would make sense. Okay. Okay, summer 2016, right? I went to high school with this person. And I had like this download in 11th grade. I think, no, I was probably like, I know I was a sophomore and he was a senior. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know why, but in my brain, I was like, this is my future husband. Like, and I don't know if I probably just had like a crush and it was just like that. But I was like, I have to tell him he's going to be my future husband. So I told him and I just like let it go. I didn't like create nothing else. But then I would see him like randomly and I'd be like, okay, who is this guy? Is this really like I didn't even know why I had said the shit, you know, but I was like, okay, we'll see, you know, if we have the opportunity to know each other, we'll see. But he had like a long-term girlfriend. I didn't disrupt that, so let's be clear. But I knew that wasn't gonna work, but that's not my business. But yeah, he had a long-term girlfriend, so that was like, there was no way for us to be together. So, you know, he went to college, did his thing, whatever. And then he followed me on social media. I was like, okay, cool. So, you know, I don't know what he was looking at when he saw that, but, you know, of course I followed back, and then I would, you know, say congratulations when he hit his milestones, which I knew he would be a very successful young man, you know. He was very determined and hardworking, and, you know, people get things done. You know when people are going to get things done. They're going to get things done, you know. So you can see that potential in someone. So he was accomplishing those things. I was like, okay, cool. You know, like I said, I would tweet and say, you know, congratulations, and that would be that. So I went to a mutual friend of ours, and she's not my friend anymore, so let that be clear. But yeah, I went to a mutual friend's graduation party, and I saw him. But before then, we had like followed each other on Snap, and you know, behind the scenes, we was like, hey, you want to work out together? You know, I was like, you should, you know, be my trainer. I didn't really need a trainer, I'm not gonna lie, like, but I did, like, it was something I really did want to have a discipline in, but I wanted like a partner, like an accountability partner, and I don't know, that was the time. But I already was going through a lot of shit before then, so I was like, I really wasn't emotionally available. And I'll admit that, like, I wanted a relationship. It felt like I wanted a relationship, but I wasn't emotionally available because I was still dealing with, like, how could somebody, and that had played out very publicly for me, so I wasn't really sure what he had thought about it, or nor did I care. But I was going to, you know, I'm a public speaker, so when I speak publicly about my feelings and emotions and my healing journey, you know, people have prerequisites of, like, pre-knowledge of who I am and what I've been through. And that can either be a downfall or an advantage for someone. You know, they know what not to do to me, or what to do to me, or what they think that I will allow, okay? So, fast forward, we hang out a few times, and I was like, okay, cool, you know. And this is the get to know you part, as you feel your image yourselves. I felt like we had, like, I was like, hey, like, this is my, like, little date thing. You know, we kind of, I wouldn't say we fell quick, but we kind of fell quick. It was like, oh my gosh, we like each other, you know, like, oh, okay, this is really a spark. And it was like, yeah, okay, this is really a spark. But then when you get to, like, ask about, like, you know, real, you know, like, I'm one of those people who's like, okay, what's the next step? You know, okay, like, for me, I'm like the woman that looks at the man as really the leader. Like, yeah, I'm a bossy ass woman. So, you know, I have my life in straight, but I understand when for me, I understand the foundation of, like, I think Russell Wilson, he just stated something about, like, you know, God gave him that insight or that download to look at Sierra and know that he wanted to lead this woman in the right direction with his vision, you know. And you see, he's aligned, but I'm okay, whatever. That's just that. So during this time, I had took a celibacy vow because I had a best friend that I had sex with that I felt like brought me a lot of emotional baggage that I was carrying, and I really wanted to release that before that was like the true reason why I became celibate. It was like, after having sex with your best friend, you'd be like, like, oh my god, and this is different than secrets, you know. This is different than secrets, bro. Like, you telling me some real shit. So my body really was like, okay, I need to protect this at all costs. And I was, you know, I really was looking to keep that part of myself sacred, you know. just to see who was really interested in getting to know me, you know? It was like a lot of shit that was happening to me back to back, and I was like, oh my God, like I knew I had did some fucked up shit in my life, in my past, but this was the time where I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to change. Like, I'm gonna have to change my approach on a lot of things, okay? Like, my views on polygamy, or not really, we'll say, I think it's called polyamory, where you have like multiple people in a relationship. So I was like, not that I was like opposed to it. So this is very clear to people. Like, I don't have a problem with it. Like, if you can afford me and another bitch, and I don't want to call her a bitch, but if you can afford me and another woman, then it makes sense to me. Like, it makes sense. Especially if I'm trying to do something, if I'm focusing on mine, you know? I don't believe that one man can bring multiple women's visions to life at the same time, simultaneously. I don't think the women can coerce like that. I don't think we have the same vibration when we allow a man to lead us both in the right direction. You know, I feel like God gives, and I don't know, this could be just my, you know, my premature thought of it, or I would call it an undeveloped thought. It's a very undeveloped thought about polyamorous relationships. You know, obviously I would like a, you know, a monogamous one. I would like to practice a monogamy. But, you know, that was just a space I was in. I don't like to be violated. I don't like to be violated where I don't know that there's another third party. So let that be clear. I don't like that. If you can't be honest, then you don't deserve it. You know, if you can't be honest when it comes to how you seek love and how you seek, you know, your lack of affections or lack of attention or needs, you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to have two people in the blind when you can't be for, you know, when you can't be for it, because that's not player. That's lame. That's a big layout. That's a lame shit to me. You know what I mean? That's lame shit to me. So no, I will not go in a relationship being okay with being a side chick. I will not. I have never been in the okay with that. You know what I mean? That's just that. That's just that. You know what I mean? But if there's a certain thing we all know, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, I've had a threesome before, you know, and I want to say this because this is true. You know, I've had a third party relationship where we all like, and then the dude walking like, you know what I mean? I remember this time when the dude was like, how'd you do that? And we was like, because well, it was me. I initiated, but if it was that player, you know what I mean? It was that player for a motherfucker to be like, you deserve this because you okay with, you feel, you know what I mean? But a lot of people don't, you know, a lot of people ain't got the juice like that, nor the security to be like that. I'm not an insecure woman when it comes to other women. So that's just my thought. Like, I'm really not. It's just more about like, can the dude really handle what he asks for? And a lot of niggas can't, you know. And I'll say that. So that's the get to know you part. Yes, I didn't really know what he knew about me or what he researched about me, because, you know, he's a Scorpio. So, you know, Scorpios, they dig up whatever they hear and they want to know the details type shit. It's like, okay, you can't come in a relationship with me having things that you think you know about me or an idea of what you already think you gather without asking the questions. So that gets to know. So that's done. That getting to know me, we got that out the way. I ended up going off to be a flight attendant because I was very unhappy in my life at that point, and I wasn't going to try to, you know, force a relationship when, you know, for me, I would have been like, let's move in together and like let's forget whatever, like let me not work towards something. No, I really wanted to get the fuck out of my space, you know, out of the space of Indianapolis. I've always had a resentment towards Indianapolis because I didn't really know the purpose of why I was there. I kind of know a little bit more why I was there, but I don't think I know the full gist yet, you know. So for me, I'm more of a hometown based chick until I can understand why I was dragged to a city that did me no good, you know. Okay, I met friends. Okay, that's not enough for me, you know. I'm the friend sound. I can meet friends anywhere, you know. So yeah, it didn't really work because he didn't really, I remember I do have the video, I think, out, if I'm not sure, but I had made a video talking about, you know, just kind of like, hey, because I kind of had like an attitude and kind of you know, it kind of, but anyway, he agreed to like the celibacy that I was going through, and I was like, okay, cool, you know. For in my mind, I'm like, okay, let's get this rolling. He didn't know how to get this rolling, you know. I don't really like a person that can't lead the direction. So that was that. Clearly decide what you want so that comes to you now. So I decided my career at that point. I don't think he could handle the distance, or he never really attempted the distance, but he ended up having a girl that he was, you know, at a distance with, so I didn't really understand that. So I was like, okay, I'm just not good enough for him, and that's fine. When I came back into town after I had like air problems, I didn't think I couldn't handle the air, but I guess I couldn't. I'm an air sign, but couldn't handle the air. Yeah, I got sick in the air. It was a lot of what's the word? what's that word where you're sleepy? It was a lot of fatigue that my body wasn't able to handle because I was downloading a lot of information from people from all walks of life. And now that I'm able to say that, you know, I didn't know what was happening, but my body was transitioning to being able to be more empathetic, as well as hone into my psychic abilities and skills, you know. Yeah, so that was that. We came back and we clicked again. I was like, okay, cool, yay, we clicked again, you know, because I had a liking for him. I was very fond of, you know, his charm, his charisma, and like, you know, just his laid backness. I was like, okay, you know, I really liked it. It was like it was a really great match to me vibrationally. It wasn't too intense as far as like asking or demanding anything, you know. But anyway, so that was that. And what was that, 2017? Yeah, that was 2017. So that was that time. So again, you know, more information about him, more feelings were being developed during this time. So I was like, okay, cool. And then let your friends help you, ask and accept for support. So when we first started dating, I would call it dating. Well, when we first started talking, I had a friend. We have a mutual friend, again, by association, not my friend anymore. And not an enemy. I want to say that, not an enemy, because that's just, you know, I don't really look at her as an enemy, you know. She just, I don't know, you know, it's a lot of women who get really weird about dudes that they're around and they don't get their attention, or they're not going to get the attention that, I don't know, I really don't know, but I know that we had like, me and this particular friend had instance where I dated somebody that she was just had a crush on. You got to speak on your crushes. If you don't speak on your crushes, then look, this motherfucking pond too small to be acting like, you know, you can claim shit without going after it. So, you know, that was actually my prom dude, you know. So anyway, we had like a, you know, I don't know how I want to speak on a friend part, because I wanted to make that a separate series, but this is definitely necessary in the beginning. I don't know. Yeah, me and this person, we just didn't, I don't know. So anyway, she gave me some information about him, and I didn't really ask. I just kind of was like, okay, you know, hey, and I always like to get the gist on that, because, you know, you spend the majority of the time with him, and do you think as a friend or as a woman I'm walking into something? So the information, and this is what like people that did know him like gave me. It was like, he's not gonna choose, like, he likes what he likes, and I'm like, but that's not what he needs, you know, in my brain, because I'm like, I'm getting all this insight from him. I'm like, this is not what this man needs. But so the information the girl gave me was like, he likes to keep his little, you know, his mixed chicks in the forefront, and he likes darker women in his secret life. And I'm just like, that's kind of sick. Like, that's kind of sick. Like, that's a little sick, you know. It was a sickening to me, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do somebody like that based off, you know, because this particular friend had she had a black insecurity, you know. And I was like, I don't have that, so I'm not gonna sit here and say this person's gonna do this when, you know, I've been in public with him. And I'm like, okay. But I was like, okay. So I ended up working. Okay, so, and again, during this time, I ended up working with a friend, another mutual friend. I didn't even know me and this mutual friend had like knew or like followed each other before this, you know, relationship. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. So my mom introduced us. She's like, hey, you guys will probably get along. You guys are both on spirituality. And during that time, I was craving, my spirit was craving a spiritual being, you know, someone to validate kind of the things that I was, you know, experiencing when it came to the information that I was learning, the books I was reading, and, you know. And low-key, if a man don't read, it's kind of unattractive to me, because I don't understand what are you reading if you're not reading, you know, that. But if you go to school, I understand, you know, some people don't find it fun. So it wasn't like it was a big judgment or a deal breaker. But at that time, I really needed someone that was like a non-sexual person who was like about doing what I was doing. So, you know, during that time, you guys all leave that video as well below. It was a friend. His name was Raphael. We did, you know, we did the selfie curious videos together, and we were going to, you know, continue to propel that forward. But of course, you know, people can't, and when you're attractive to people, like as a pair, we looked attractive together. Like we looked attractive, you know what I mean? Like TV attractive. And that's my thought, you know. I'm always thinking about money. I think about money first, like period. Like I'm always business oriented first. So again, let my friends tell me. And I don't know, well, you know, he already admitted that he was a jealous person. So I was like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Like, you know, okay, cool. You know, you should only be jealous of people like that you have actual possession of. But again, you know, people be actually like in love with you before they verbalize it, you know. And I didn't know that. I was blind to that, you know. If you don't proclaim the attention that you want from me, I don't know what to give you, you know. I do want to talk about this because I always talk about the 5 languages of love. So I knew, like, we talked about those things. I knew about that. And, you know, the relationship developed. I really wasn't down for letting him be my family at this time because, yeah, like, the past, like, I let homeboy be my, like, he, like, I remember he bum rushed me into meeting my family. This is, like, the 2015 when the back-to-back things were happening. The man had really bum rushed me to meet my mom, and I was like, okay. Like, he met my mom and grandma. And I didn't understand why he wanted to do that when he was this, like, when he was, like, I just did not understand men who did this. Like, I was really, like, protective of my family at this point. Because my mama, she's the type that once she feels like you love her daughter, she damn near feel like she can talk to you anyway at that point, because you're not going to disrespect me, you know, especially because she know how I am. I'm a kind-hearted woman. I'm not really somebody that's going to bring a bunch of dudes around so you feel some type of way. No. I mean, my circle might know about the bunch of dudes that's around, but they're not going to know, you know, they're not going to be influenced. I'm not going to have you look like, oh, and this one's over this weekend. Like, it's not like that for me, you know. I'm very mindful of, like, the people that my brother meets, you know, because he needs, you know, he has a big brother. We all have brothers, you know, I have brothers, but like a masculine brother that his sisters date. You know, my sister, she brings about white boys, and there's no shade, no tea to my sister, but she brings about white men. So how can these white men be a real influence to my brother, you know? So I think about that because that's like my son in my mind, you know? So anyway, that was just happening. So I really was kind of protective of my mom during this point, you know? There was times when he was in my house and I could have, like, let him meet him, you know, but he had like a tardiness, and to me that was he had a strong tardiness, and I was like, okay, maybe that's anxiety, you know, things like that. I was learning that type of information. I was like, okay, maybe that's anxiety. Like, I don't know how long it take him to get out the damn car, you know, like things like that. So I don't know, but to me that was a form of disrespect, and you're not gonna meet my family, you know, when we have planned something out for you. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. So that kind of like stopped why I didn't really want to like be that, you know, until you learn that type of respect, and that's when you can build, you know, more of a relationship with me. Okay, okay. That thing popped up as engagement. We're not talking about that shit. But yeah, since we were talking about dating and marry, you know, he agreed, like I said. Oh yeah, okay. So when I came back from whatchamacallit, that's when I don't get me wrong, I met a guy before I left the summer. Before I left for flight attendant. Before I went to go before I left to go fly. And that's who I was pretty much kicking it with. That's who was able to handle what my lifestyle was. He can pop up anytime, you know. He got hella flying points, you know. So at that point I was just like, yes, you know. Yes, let go of control issues. Love yourself first. And engagement. That motherfucker really wants to come out. Y'all see that? Engagement really wants to come out. 222. Reconciliations at the bottom of the deck. I don't know what that means, because I ain't reconciling with shit. But this is me reconciling with myself. Let's say that. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So let go of control issues. Whew. Okay, so I don't even know when it was. I do got the screenshot. Don't get me wrong. Because I was like, he announced the WCW, and I was like, okay, like, is this just a WCW? I remember seeing it on Snapchat, but I remember not caring enough to be like, you know what I mean? Anyway, so initials popped up in his bio, and I was just like, of course, as a woman, I do my research real quick, and we had just like had like, I think we had just had our real first like he paid for type date, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like I feel like our life was coming together, like as far as like shit that was working out, like, you know, his career stuff was working out, me, and I was like, I don't know, I was getting a lot of money during that time. I don't know what it was, but my vibrations was really, really high, and I was just like, yay, you know. I was working on getting myself an apartment, all of that, and a car. Oh my god, I go through so many changes with cars, but yeah. And I remember that next day, I was like, you know, I don't know why I didn't care before to look, but I just looked. And I was like, it hurt my soul. But I had never in my life had cut somebody out so deep in my life. Then I remember my parents. It was really my parents who was like, Miko. Because he was like, that's not what you think that is. Blah, blah. I was like, all right, fine. I ain't going to be a bitch, you know. Me denying myself, and that's, I mean, again, another man denying and suppressing what a woman knows just to get his way. And I really just don't like that part either. Like, as men, you cannot deny what a woman knows to get your way, because then at that point, You don't feel like you deserve her. Like, if you have to lie to her, you don't feel like you deserve her. You know what I mean? Especially when she know the truth. But that was my fault. You know, me knowing the truth, I should have backed back. But I did kind of back back. So we had that conversation. Long story short, you lie, you don't get what you get. You lie, you don't get. And I feel like that's what made me more sacred in the relationships. Like, I was really, like, when I feel genuine happiness for people, and I don't fake it. When I don't feel no congratulations coming from my throat, I won't say it because that's false, you know? And, like, I remember the spirit that I had with him. I was like, you know? Like, I was like, you know? Because me reaching out to somebody during their milestones, I was like, okay, I want you to continue maintaining these milestones, you know? I don't want you to feel like when you're with me, you don't have shit, you know? Or at least that's not, I know how I was feeling in 2016. So, yeah, like, I cussed his ass out, and my parents was like, because, you know, don't be blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll listen. And then we worked it out. We smoothed it out. And he tried to have sex with me, and I was just like, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Hell no. Hell no. Because literally, I remember sitting on the couch, and I saw a chick name was emoji. I was like, did you want me to say something? Because I'm not, because that's disrespectful to the fact that you're in my house. You're in my home. So I was like, I used to make him put his phone like way over there. I'm just like, you really can't get no pussy from me now, bro. Even if I was thinking about clapping my pussy on your dick, like, you're not gonna get it from me now at this point. Like, you think I don't see that type of shit? And I'm not the woman that's gonna trip on some shit that you don't need to be bringing around me anyway. Why would you bring some shit around for a woman to trip on? Like, that shit is lame to me. In general, for all men, don't bring no shit around me because I'm not gonna trip on it. You know why? Because I'm not going to trip on it. Period. I'm not going to trip on it. What am I about to trip on that shit for? You want me to see that. So, bitch, you about to trip on your own self. And that's just how I feel. You going to trip your own self trying to trip on me. You know what I mean? Trying to get me to trip. Oh, I like that. You going to trip. You going to trip your own self. Trying to get me to trip. That shit cold. Nicole Crayton, she said that shit. Y'all hear it? You gonna trip your own self trying to get me to trip. You feel me? So that's what that was. Anyway, basically during that time it was a bunch of empty promises. I ain't gonna lie to you. No cap. No cap. It was a bunch of ass empty promises. I was like, ugh. Okay, so to love yourself first. During this time, I was very feminine. Like I said, I was getting a lot of money. So it was like, I mean, whatever a lot of money is to, you know, somebody at that age. But I was getting a lot of money, so I was very, like, you know what I mean? And okay, looking back on who the chick was, we had a both very similar upkeep. You know what I mean? She's a lot more extreme than I am, and I was like, go girl, you know. Go girl. You have to find what's important for you and what you need. So there's no shade, no tea to her. And I apologize that your man was a liar. Like, I apologize for that, but you know, I'm a very heavy competitor. Like, I don't play about that type of shit. I'm not, like, if y'all not, yeah, anyway, we're not gonna talk about that part. We'll talk about that in part 7 or something like that. It's only a 6-part series. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know, I'm a very heavy competitor. I don't really play when it comes to shit like that. I date well. Excuse me. And I date a lot. When I date. I'm a very good serial dater. Like I said, I really liked my African boo at the time, like, a lot more. I don't know. He just gave me the best sleep of my life. He did. So that was that time. So I was just loving myself first, you know. I was keeping my pussy to myself. I was like, y'all can't touch me, but y'all still want to be around me. So I had like I had an arrogance about myself during this time. So my self-respect made me more romantically attractive. So I was able to be, like, again, more of a serial dater. And then we had the engagement. Your love life ascended to a higher level of commitment. Fast forward, like, I'm around that May time, around that summer. I had moved with my uncle because I was like, okay, the apartment shit, no. I wasn't going to have a car note and a damn apartment. That wasn't going to work. So I ended up staying with my uncle because, you know, he needed a roommate. Well, he probably didn't need one, but he wanted a roommate. We close. Me and my uncle were really close. So, yeah, so he spent the night for the first time a couple times. And I was like, okay. I slept pretty well with him. You know, I still personally felt like that the conversation of, like, celibacy was still, but I had already like clapped on my ex's dick, so I was like, I can fuck, but I don't know if I want to fuck you. You know what I mean? Especially because I feel like he was still lying about shit. So I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work if you a liar, bro. So anyway, long story short, they broke up in a relationship. This is like fast forwarding, okay, like way to like into 2017. So they had broke up. And I had already had a dream about it. And I was like, okay, well, this is fine, you know. Now I would make myself more, you know, singularly available. And that's what I was doing. I was making myself singularly available for him. So we're gonna, ooh, the Tower was underneath the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, basically that had happened. So I don't know why I get to really start to confessing, because when I think about marriage, and I was just watching this video on Steve, which I'll try to find that video again and leave it below. I believe everything should be on the table before you get in any type of relationship. So I was like, hey, you know, I didn't know what he was interested in. You know, I don't think he was watching me as heavy, you know, at that point. So I don't know. I mean, it was more on Snapchat, you know. I was more, you know, flamboyant on Snapchat than I was like on Twitter at the time. But yeah, I started like, I just kind of like putting shit on the table. I was like, hey, you know, ooh, Wheel of Fortune. Yep, I started putting shit on the table, and, you know, making it more known that I was like ready to be in a more. I let them know. I'm like, hey, you know, the reason I don't actually be in like committed relationship because I'm a lot more needier than people think. You know, I like a lot more attention. Scorpio energy, death. I was just like, I like a lot more attention than I let on to be. That's exactly why I like multiple dudes, you know. And that could be an insecurity out loud. Yes, it was, you know. But once I made that clear, I didn't really know his disposition. So I was like, okay. I asked him, I was like, are you emotionally available? And I know, like, right after a relationship, I'm not going to jump on somebody to be their rebound chick. But I didn't feel like a rebound. I'll just be straight up, because I was like, I've been claimed. Like, in my brain, I was like, I've been claimed you. Like, in my brain, like, that's my Taurus moon coming in and being more possessive. I was like, I've been claimed you. Like, I claimed you when I was 16. Like, bro, I claimed you when I was 15, bro. You're not going nowhere. In my brain, that's how I was like, that was my thought. So it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense for me to have gave up at that point. At that point in the race, it didn't make sense for me to give up. It didn't, you know, like I said. All right, a few more cards. Ooh, the Lovers, okay. Ooh, the Nine of Swords reversed. Yeah, so I think that had Crayton in the moon. He said no, he wasn't emotionally available. And I thought he was just being a little bitch. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, the fuck? Like, I remember telling him too, when we first started dating, I was like, yo, I'm gonna show you why you're dating the wrong bitches, but that is none of my business, you know. I knew he was dating women from his lower vibrational. And not saying that, you know, dating outside of your race or dating women that are, you know, of different descent makes you insecure or makes you a lack of a black strong man. It doesn't. Chariot here. It does not at all. You know, the energy coming fast. It does not at all. So I would never say that out loud, no matter how much I defend, you know, prejudice of black men. It does not. So you're allowed to date whoever you want. If your soulmate is somebody that's a different race, you chose that on your path, you know. But I felt like for him, he didn't choose that. And then he would like try to get me like, oh, remember her? Bro, no, I don't know her and I don't care about her. You can't give me a list of one black woman and think I'm supposed to feel secure and you dating me. Like, I'm a whole different black bitch, you know what I mean? I'm a whole different black woman. So you're getting that. To this day, I don't think I would out loud say what he needs to need to be more secure, you know. And I would say like that. At that point, it's time for you to really forgive like your family. Okay, it's time for you to forgive your family for the idea you have of black women that you don't even want to attach. Okay, that you don't even want to attach, that you don't even want to procreate. You know, I don't know him. Let him say it. Like, let him tell it. I don't know him. So I don't, you know. I don't, but I have a great idea. And like, oh my gosh, when he slept in my house, that's another thing. I was getting so many more downloads. And like, y'all gotta be careful about who y'all, and I'm just saying this as a woman, 33333. Saying as a woman, stop lying on some men being y'all bed, because for me, I don't know if this is just my vibration or what I always say, mattresses are like magic carpets, okay? They take you where you want to go. They dream, they help you. Like, he slept on my pillow, and I was like, I don't know if he left his thoughts there, but they were like ingrained in me. Like, I was getting a lot of downloads of like some of his childhood trauma, and I don't know if it was my own trauma as well, intertwined, being interpreted through his, but like I knew more about him that he knew that I knew, or that he had physically or verbally told me. And I was like, okay, you can't tell people that you know this type of stuff about them because they can either deny it or not be ready to heal or face that. So that's that moon, that shadow side. I was able to see that, you know? And I was like, okay. I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want. But yeah, this is the priest part, okay? This is the getting to know you part. This is how that went down. I don't really believe in telling like sacred details about shit. You know, like again, I don't respect his character. I don't respect his actions. I don't respect his or anyone involved in the situation. I don't respect your actions. I don't respect the character that you displayed to me, because I'm a very loyal by heart person. And I had told him something, and I really want this person to know this. So they know why I'm very personally offended by your involvement in this. It's very distasteful to me. I find it disruptive and unprofessional and classless. And that's all I'm gonna say. I find all those things about you very distasteful and classless. There's choices you have, and sometimes the choice that you make can be making you an ass. That's just period. Even no matter what y'all feel about me in this video, this has been my platform. It's gonna always be my platform, you know, and it's gonna always be that for me. Yeah, so I just allowed that situation to unfold naturally. Anyway, so we kicked it up. I had started picking it. I don't know why, I just started picking the shit up. like you know what I mean? Like I don't reveal everything. Like in a pre-dating stage, why would I reveal that I like taking nudes? Why would I reveal that I like, you know what I mean, that I like to keep my man's attention? Like, why would I reveal that when a person isn't making themselves available for that type of unconditional, you know? A lot of people like, I want unconditional love, I want somebody to have my back, I want somebody to rap, but you don't even know how to rap for your damn self. Or you don't even know how to rap for what you want. That shit look different. That shit look different than what you thought. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I'm sorry, boo-boo. I can't come out with the Latin curls for you. You know what I mean? I'm sorry about that. You can go buy a wig for your bitch, but I ain't about to do nothing else out of myself. You know what I mean? I can speak a little Spanish to you if that's what you need, but bro, I can't do nothing else for you. You know what I mean? I can't. Like, that let go and control shit. I can't do nothing else for you. You know, where you think that makes you, you know, a lot more popular. But a lot of people. But then you think about his lifestyle, his career path. He lived his life slapping men asses and you know, impressing these niggas, and I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. And I have no regrets for saying that. You live for slapping niggas asses and impressing niggas. 3 of Cups. That people please. This is, for me, honestly, 3 of Cups is a people pleaser card. Like, you know, your party you keep. You want to impress them. 8 of Swords. Walk away from that, as these people are going to have the same acceptance or acception of, what's the word? Will these people accept what I like, even though it's not what the main like the main crowd like, you know what I mean? What was that? 8? The 8 of Pentacles. Work, overtime, you know, to maintain this black woman, or to maintain this, to maintain this black woman. I know I'm gonna have to actually be a superior black man. You know that when a woman is spiritual, you have to know that. You know what I mean? You have to know that. You can't just get by telling me you believe Adam is Eve and Eve is Adam. Like, you can't. The Knight of Cups. So he was bringing in love very slowly, and we both were, okay? Justice. Thank you, because I definitely need some justice in this shit. So that's that, okay? That's that. He gonna trip you on, still trying to get me to trip. You hear me? I think I'm gonna pause it right here. We're gonna talk about day 2. We're gonna talk about day 2. But what I did, let's just wrap this up. What I did learn in day 1 was I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover. Nah, I don't know. The first day I was like, I went on strike. Like, really, the first day of like jail really like traumatized me, because I was like, this food is nasty. I think I started crying the second day. I don't know. It was more about like, I don't know. I think I was looking for rescue from him. You know, I was like, if you're going to put me in this position, you are in charge of rescuing me. Like, well, how did we get there? How did I get there is the question. But I need you guys to get background knowledge on me, because, you know, like, he claims that I don't know him, and that's weird. That's fucking weird. That's fucking weird. Like, that's weird as fuck to me. Like, that's weird as fuck. Like, that's weird as fuck. That's weird as fuck. And then, like, his abusive act, that's, to me, his friends are co-abusers to me. Like, that's abusive. And like I said, like, I wasn't looking to jump to be this nigga chick after he just got out of a relationship. Because like I said, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that you chose this bitch over me. Like, and I'm not calling her a bitch. I'm calling it a bitch, you know? It or she or her, you know? Whatever. Him, I don't give a fuck. Whoever you was fucking talking to before you was trying to, you know, be in my damn face. So, I don't know how, like I said, I stepped up and, like, you know, my girly duties, like, you know, doing a lunch, showing up a little bit more. Because he said we agreed on these type of things. He said he likes, you know, attention. He likes, it is what it is, like, you know. you know. And I be getting it. Like, I already know your damn, what's it called? I know your love language. That's why I mentioned this to that. Yeah, I know his love language is which I ain't gonna tell y'all bitches, because why would I give y'all? But in fact, sometimes y'all don't even know what to do. So I don't give a fuck. Y'all know what to do anyway. So y'all would not know what to do even if I told you. Y'all, he like quality time and physical touch. You know I wasn't touching him. I just kidding. I was touching him. Anyway. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll be more quality. You know, I'll give him more quality time. So, you know, I would do lunch and, you know, be the person, you know, how I said, like, I was happy for him during, you know, before he started something. I was like, I want to be the person that be happy for him during the process of getting it. So, yeah, I was being that person. I was being that person. I'm a little upset at that person, though. Because I was like, wow, like, it was more about, like, wow, like, I hate ungrateful people. That's what it is. I really hate ungrateful people. And I felt like he was ungrateful. I did. We'll say most men are ungrateful. You know? So ungrateful time. Like, it was very ungrateful for me. And it wasn't that I was trying to convince him to be grateful for me. But I was like, hey, this is the time where I'm explaining to you why you're messing with the wrong chicks. I felt like it was my mission to tell him that. I did. I felt like it was my mission and divine right to tell him that. Like, hey, or at least show him. Or be an example. But I didn't know my example required me to be away, you know? So that's that. So we're going to do the next part. Okay? Next part. Day 2.